Welcome to Euro Bangla City SATV News. This is Shibala Alam with our headlines. Insurance sector would have to be brought under digitalized system to render hassle-free services, said Prime Minister. Bangladesh has been elected President of the Executive Board of United Nations World Food Programme for the first time. Massive Russian convoy advanced on Kiev, nearly 70 Ukrainian servicemen killed. Second meeting expected in coming days. Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina today said that the insurance sector would have to be brought under a complete automation and digitalized system to render hassle-free services and to encourage the people about insurance. The Premier said that they made the country digitalized, so the insurance sector must be brought under a full automation and digital system. Sheikh Hasina said that the masses would be encouraged to do insurance policies if the process of depositing the premium alongside collecting the insurance claim can be made easier using the technology. She asked all concerned, particularly the public and private insurance companies, to take effective measures to create awareness among the people about doing insurance policy using the modern technologies. For the first time, Bangladesh has been elected President of the Executive Board of the United Nations World Food Programme. Bangladesh Ambassador to Italy said the 36-member Executive Board of the world's largest humanitarian organization unanimously elected Bangladesh as the President of the Board for 2022 in its first regular session yesterday. With the presidency, Bangladesh will lead the board supporting WFP efforts in providing life-saving assistance in humanitarian crises, particularly in conflict-affected countries and under the current COVID-19 pandemic, which is lasting longer than expected. In introductory remarks, the ambassador reiterated that the WFP has a crucial role to play in supporting food security for many of the world's most vulnerable population, and as members of the executive board, they have the responsibility of providing guidance and helping WFP deliver on its mandate. Newly appointed Chief Election Commissioner Qazi Habibul Awal today paid tributes to the martyred freedom fighters at National Memorial in Shawar. The CEC placed wreaths at the memorial at 10:10 a.m. The four election commissioners, Rashida Sultana, Brigadier General retired Ahsan Habib Khan, Muhammad Alamgir and Anisur Rahman were also present there. They observed a 1-minute silence at the memorial. Later, the CEC and commissioners signed the visiting book there. President Abdul Hamid appointed the CEC and 4 election commissioners on February 26. Railway gatekeepers are on a hunger strike demanding that jobs of 1,889 gatekeepers appointed under the project Quality Improvement of Bangladesh Railways have been permanent in revenue sector. Around 20 of them fell ill on the third day of the strike. 7 of them were hospitalized. The hunger strike began in front of the Kamlapur Railway Station Administrative Building on February 27. Among protesters who fell ill have been admitted to Dhaka Medical College Hospital. The rest are being treated at the site of the hunger strike. The Unity Council announced to continue the agitation till the demands are met. On December 29, 2019, Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina directed the Ministry of Railways to transfer the gatekeepers working in the project to the revenue sector. This year's secondary school certificate and higher secondary certificate examinations are likely to begin on June 19 and August 22 respectively. Board of the Intermediate and Secondary Education Dhaka issued a notification in this regard yesterday. The SSC candidates will sit for all the examination except religion, ICT, Bangladesh and global studies this year. On the other hand, HSC candidates will appear for Bangla, English, 3 compulsory and 1 optional subject, but they will not have to sit for ICT exam. Mark for the practical examination is 45. The theory will be held on 55 marks, 40 for written exam and 15 for MCQ. The SSC and HSC examinees are likely to be asked for online registration from April 13 and June 8 respectively. We are taking a short break. Stay with Euro Bangla City SATV News. Welcome back. You're watching Euro Bangla City SATV News. Now the Australian news. At least 9 people have died from the flash flooding that has battered northeastern Australia in the past few days, with the rain bomb forcing residents to evacuate and schools to close. Meanwhile, thousands of homes have been left inundated. Queensland have been hit the hardest, with torrential rain pummeling towns and cities since Tuesday and slowly moving south to engulf the state's capital, Brisbane. Up to 18,000 homes across the state have been affected. More than 1,500 people have been evacuated and more than 50,000 homes swept without power. On Monday morning, rivers were extremely swollen and many streets severely flooded, with extensive damage of roads, buildings and vehicles caught in the downpour. Warner Bros., Disney and Sony have halted the release of films in Russian cinemas after the invasion of Ukraine. The releases of major movies, The Batman, Turning Red and Morbius will now not go ahead on scheduled in the country. They came as governments around the world have been ramping up the sanctions against Moscow. The Warner Bros. Blockbuster, The Batman, was due to be released in Russia on Friday. In light of the humanitarian crisis in Ukraine, Warner Media is pausing the release of its feature film, The Batman, in Russia, a spokesperson said. Meanwhile, Disney have delayed the Russian release of the Pixar animated film, Turning Red. Given the unprovoked invasion of Ukraine and the tragic humanitarian crisis that is pausing the theatrical release of films in Russia, Disney said in a statement. In addition, Sony has halted the release of its Marvel adaptation, Morbius, in the country. Mexico investigation reports around 17 people were executed in the state of Michoacan after a gunman stormed a funeral wake during the weekend and dragging mourners outside to be killed. State police convoy in Mexico said that the violence has been increased in certain parts of Mexico, where drug cartels battle for control over trafficking routes and territory to extort residents. Targeting funeral wakes has become part of the violence in recent years. The incident occurred in a region where the Jalisco New Generation cartel, the New Michoacan family and Los Caballeros Templares operate and have been fighting turf wars. 5 days into Russia's invasion of Ukraine, the first round of talks near the border ended with no immediate conclusion. A top advisor to the Ukrainian president said that the next meeting will take place in the coming days on the Poland-Belarus border. A huge Russian military convoy stretching some 40 miles was spotted by Maxar, a US satellite imaging company, that north of the Ukrainian capital Kiev. Dalia Nilfa brings the report.
Russian artillery pounds Ukraine's Kharkiv as ceasefire talks end with no breakthrough. The Russian army also reached the southern Ukrainian city of Kherson near Crimea and is setting up checkpoints on the city's outskirts on Tuesday. In the northeastern town of Okteka, nearly 70 Ukrainian servicemen were killed in a Russian shelling on Monday, according to the regional governor. Kiev says 350 civilians have been killed mid-term, including 14 children, since the invasion began last Thursday. The UN Refugee Agency said more than 500,000 of refugees have now fled Ukraine for neighboring countries. On the flip side, Russia lashed out at countries that decided to provide lethal weapons to Ukraine, threatening them with the danger of the consequences should those weapons affect Moscow's military operations in Ukraine, the Russian Foreign Minister said on Monday. Meanwhile, US ordered the expulsion of 12 Russian diplomats from the country on Monday for taking part in espionage activities, the US mission to the United Nations said. Separately, the International Criminal Court (ICC) plans to open an investigation into Russia's invasion of Ukraine and alleged war crimes committed there. However, encountering deepening global isolation, Russia faced urgent calls Monday to end its unprovoked and unjustified assault on Ukraine as the UN General Assembly 193 members had an extraordinary debate on the invasion of the ex-Soviet state. Diane for SATV News Desk.
Now sports news. The two-match test series between New Zealand and South Africa ended in a 1-1 draw. South Africa leveled the series by defeating New Zealand by 196 runs in the second test of the series in Christchurch. New Zealand were bowled out for 226 in the second innings. Kiwis needed 332 runs to win on the last day. They had 6 wickets in hand. The two batsmen, Conway and Blundell, started the day well. 65 runs came from the bat of the two for the fourth wicket. Conway returned with 92 runs. After that, the procession of Kiwi batsmen started coming and going. They lost 5 wickets for 61 runs. As a result, the Proteas left the field with a big win. Rabada, Johnson and Maharaj took 3 wickets each. New Zealand won the first test by an innings and 28 runs. Before ending, we go to the Euro-Bangla City SATV News headlines again. Insurance sector would have to be brought under digitalized system to render hassle-free services, said Prime Minister. Bangladesh has been elected president of the Executive Board of the United Nations World Food Programme for the first time. Massive Russian convoy advanced on Kiev. Nearly 70 Ukrainian servicemen killed. Second meeting expected in coming days. We are up to date so far here on Euro-Bangla City SATV News, and to know the latest news visit www.satvtv. Stay with SATV.